You're watching KREM 2 News at 4.
And as we told you earlier in the newscast, ballots are still being counted from last night's election. And aside from the candidates, one of the big decisions in Washington is the cap on car tab fees. And as you can see from a map that we'll be putting there right there, voters in the majority of counties chose to approve I-976. King, Whatcom, and Jefferson were the only counties where voters turned it down.
So what happens now? Many of you want to know what this means and will it impact transportation projects? KREM 2's Tim Pham went to find out today.
Though the ballots are still being counted, Tim Eyman is celebrating.
So I think it's extremely gratifying. I mean, anytime you're pushing something for 20 years of your life and you reach that point where 56% of the people in the state of Washington say, yeah, we're in favor of this, it's obviously just a great feeling.
So far, the majority of voters chose to approve I-976, the anti-tax initiative putting a hard cap on car tabs at $30.
Voters saw through all the crap. They saw that it was all threats, lies, and scare tactics.
You saw these ads for months from his opponents.
I-976 puts the completion of the North-South Freeway at risk.
They argue passing 976 would cut more than $4 billion in transportation funding, including the North Spokane Corridor project. We looked into those claims and did not find any specific mention of the freeway taking a direct hit. Though the initiative isn't certified yet, WashDOT says it's too soon to know how it will impact drivers, but they do know it could lose $451 million of their $6.7 billion biennium budget. In a statement to KREM 2, WashDOT said this is a significant loss to specific programs supported by our agency budget. They went on to say they'll work with the governor's office and other departments. Together, we will work to ensure that policymakers understand the trade-offs as they determine how to implement the initiative. Washington Senator Andy Billig says this outcome is going to be devastating.
There's just no easy way to cut $4 billion from the state's transportation budget without having pretty significant negative impacts.
Spokane Transit also weighing in, saying the initiative will have negative funding impacts on public transportation. They estimate about $31 million over the next 6 years. A spokesperson says this could affect key projects like the Central City Line, the Cheney Line, I-90 improvements, as well as paratransit and Vanpool funding.
Can you assure them that now that this is presumed to pass, that it won't be impacted?
I can absolutely guarantee the people of Spokane that Andy Billig wants to be reelected. Andy Billig is the most powerful person in Spokane in the legislature. He's in charge of the Senate. If he wants to, he can make sure that everything happens. If he doesn't want to, then you can vote somebody else in.
Reporting in Spokane, I'm Tim Pham, KREM 2 News.